Welcome to the second episode of Double Life Exposed, a six-part series taking an in-depth look at each track on singer-songwriter Christian Beach's recently released EP, Double Life. This time we take a closer look at the EP's second track and its first single, Highway Sun. And joining us again is the artist himself, Christian Beach. Christian, how are you?
Doing great, Brian. How are you this evening?
Doing excellent as usual.
Awesome.
So let's get right down to it. With Highway Sun, you opt for an electric piano sound, which is a little bit different for you. I'm trying to remember any of your songs in the past that had electric piano. I mean, at least it's from 2006 on.
Sure.
So, and it kind of creates a dreamlike state going into the song with that intro. What led you to that sound, and did it have a? You've mentioned that the song itself is about a couple in turmoil, and by the end there's a potential for a better life. I'm wondering if that dream of the better life kind of had that dreamlike quality in your head led to that sound. So why don't you take us into what went into the intro there with the electric piano sound?
Sure. It was actually electric piano from the start. I have my Yamaha stage piano, which has about 10 or 12 different sounds in them. None of them are up to par to really record with, but I write with them. So it has acoustic piano sound, and it has a couple electric piano sounds. One of them is sort of like a pseudo Wurlitzer sound. So sometimes I'll switch back and forth. Especially the new material I was writing, I would switch back and forth to see what sounded better, electric piano or acoustic piano. So this one, just the vibe kind of was leading me in that direction, and was kind of going for that sort of, I don't know, maybe that sort of Supertramp kind of quality in my head. I was thinking more 70s with the Wurlitzer, and even how I constructed the song. Was thinking sort of along those lines a bit. So I started off with that Wurlitzer sound, and then I had the chorus, and I came up with the Highway Sun that just popped into my head, and I just said, okay, well, just name the song Highway Sun. Those are the only lyrics I had, Highway Sun. I had the chorus, done by that point. And then when I was working on the verse, it had to be this sort of quick. The verse cadence, was very quick fire, rapid fire, sort of vocal thing that I had to do. If it was more legato, I think it wouldn't sound right. So I had to come up with the verses, and the verses sort of, the song kind of wrote itself, and I did the song fairly quickly, and then it sort of all came together at the end where I knew, kind of the direction I was going in the song, and how I worked out the characters. I had to revise it a bit to get it to where I wanted. But that's how sort of the genesis of it. Started with the chorus, kind of working my way back with the verses. The piano sound itself that I recorded with, because like I said, the stage piano is okay for writing, but not the sounds aren't that great to record with. So I didn't have an actual Wurlitzer, and I don't have any decent sounds that I wanted to use already. So I kind of went searching for a virtual instrument that had Wurlitzer. So I came across this free version, and I loaded it in and I played it, and the sound was, it sounds like a Wurlitzer, but it's kind of synthetic, but sort of old sounding and broken down sounding. I said, that's perfect. So that's what I recorded with. So it's this random freeware version of a Wurlitzer put through, some different effects, some delays and choruses. And actually I did overdub the electric stage piano in the chorus. I did overdub the Wurlitzer sound in the chorus, but I put it through like a tremolo and mixed it in with the regular, the regular electric piano sound. So that was sort of how it started. So the song came together fairly quick, and I sort of knew what what I wanted to do and how I wanted to develop the characters in the song. So, that's sort of how I started it.
So you mentioned the verse and the choruses. Let's talk about the bridge, because you go from that dreamlike electric piano sound, and then you have this big rock sequence as the bridge, like the lighter waving in an arena type sound. And again, you talk about this couple in the song that may have had some sordid past, and toward the end there may potentially be a brighter future for them. And I'm wondering if that was maybe some kind of wake-up call, that big sound that comes in the bridge.
That's exactly what it is. It's just the character's release, where they can accomplish something and kind of breaking out of their shell at that point. When I came up with the bridge, it wasn't that there wasn't that masculinity there. It was just the chords, and it was a little more low key. So I think what happened was when I was when I put the slide guitars on, there's a slide guitar after the first chorus that leads you into the second verse. I put a slide guitar in on that bridge part, so it's kind of like kind of reminds me of a little Stephen Stills kind of thing, or Little Feat kind of thing. We're coming in with the slide guitar and just to build up in that one part. But yeah, I definitely wanted just to build up that one section and just come right back down again. So that was the dynamics, that I wanted to achieve, in the song. So it just comes up and comes down, and back to reality, I guess.
Okay. Why don't we go into the mix now, and you can walk us through it and maybe highlight some funky little things that we don't know,
Sure.
we may not be able to hear.
There's a lot of funky little things, as always. So it all started here with the piano, so I guess we can visit the pianos here. And this is the main sound. I should get it up here. Sorry, a little loud. So this is just the sound itself, but we added a little bit of reverb, a little bit of tape delay. Mixed into that to make that give it a little bit of more of a dreamlike quality. And I also, going into the chorus here, like I said, when I overdubbed the Yamaha stage piano, okay. Okay, we'll just deal with it, I guess. So those are the pianos, which again I added some effects to, and as the song built up, I had the guitars in that chorus part. I spent quite a lot of time with that. So there's the run-of-the-mill guitar part, but there's also these sort of slide parts that I developed to give it sort of a I want to say synthetic quality, but it was just something to kind of take it over the edge a little bit. So let me just go into, that's the slide guitars here. It's burning your eyes. You don't even realize. So it's those high parts, and those are mixed in, as well. So again, just little elements of the mix that are going in and out. This one is a little bit more straightforward. There's not as many elements as, let's say, No Use Writing a Song, or like even something like Dead Man's Weight, where there's a lot of different parts that are.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one.
That's definitely a lot to talk about there. So this one's a little bit more straightforward. Just let's say traditional. Trying to see what else. Did some. What do we got here? The vocals. The vocals are funny. So I don't know if you heard these in the background, but it's almost like a Frankie Valli type. I even named them Valley 1 and Valley 2, the background vocals, and I kind of snuck them in. They're real high vocal part, and I even like sang them kind of like nasally, like a Frankie Valli song. See if I can just pull those up here. Let's write these here. So I thought that was hilarious when I did it, but it just fit. So that's in with the chorus vocals here. I'll just play them all together. Highway sun, the highway sun. See, you barely hear them in the mix, but it just makes it barely audible, and it just brings up that chorus, just kind of lifts it up a little bit. Besides that, so I did add a little edge to the vocals too, and it just seemed they needed a little bit of excitement, so I added a little bit of distortion. So that's actually mixed in with the vocals.
You close your eyes after reading one page and put it down without a second look.
Again, mixed very low.
Yeah.
But it just brings out a little bit of edge. And if we go to the bridge part. So a lot of that sort of that heaviness, that's really the slide guitar that's mixed a little bit higher in the mix, which nothing very esoteric here. Again, more of a traditional mix. I got about 50 tracks here. Did some triggering here with the drums. So a lot of it's the acoustic drums, but added a couple just to augment the basic kit. So drums are very dry. Again, I wanted it to sound have more of that, sort of 70s feel. Dry, drums being dry, and more of a lower key mix. Until it goes into the bridge part. Right. Anything else you want to hear?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Cool. I mean, the bridge is, that was, when I first heard that, I was like, wow, I've never heard Christian sound like that. At least not since,
Yeah, to me, I didn't think it was heavy. To me, it just sounds, I was going for like a Stephen Stills kind of bluesy, type of thing, love the one you're with or something, and it's that it just kind of, I guess it's heavier, but sort of in a 70s kind of way. And
it's exactly, that's what it sounds. It's exactly like 70s,
Yeah. That's kind of what I was going for.
What's the Freedom Rock, man. That's it.
Freedom Rock. Yes, Freedom Rock.
Randy.
Yeah. Yeah, some things you keep yourself entertained. But yeah, that was a fun one to do. Plus, I enjoyed the writing aspect of it, and taking these characters in different ways. It just kind of told a story to me, and I wasn't even fully aware of what the song said until I was completely done with it. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites on the EP.
All right. Well, that concludes this look at Highway Sun from Christian Beach's new EP, Double Life. We'll be back next week to explore track 3, Dead Man's Wait, which should be a lot of fun because there's a lot going on in that song. If you want to check out Double Life, just go to christianbeach.net, where you can find links to all the ways you can download or stream the EP, and you can watch some videos there as well. Christian, thank you for discussing Highway Sun with us. We'll see you next week for Dead Man's Wait.
Great. Thanks, Brian. It was a lot of fun.
As a storm moved out to sea, there's a fire in the belly we never had, and the past is just a memory.